Hello, and welcome. It was the moment when the door slammed shut, and I realized everything had changed. My life, once filled with the quiet chaos of a broken marriage, was about to face a new storm, one I didn't see coming. I'd spent countless sleepless nights wondering if I'd ever see the light at the end of the tunnel. But that day, standing in front of Kathy, I knew the only way forward was to close that door for good. Little did I know, the journey ahead would teach me more than I ever thought possible. The courtroom was suffocating. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest as I sat across from Kathy, her lawyer at her side, calm and collected. It was surreal, almost impossible to believe that this was where we had ended up. A year ago, we had been a happy family, at least that's what I thought. Now we were fighting over custody of our son in a place that seemed to strip away any remnants of the life we once had. The air was thick with tension as Kathy's lawyer stood up, ready to argue her case. She spoke with precision, portraying Kathy as a loving mother who had been unfairly deprived of her parental rights. The lawyer painted a picture of Kathy as a woman who had gone through the ringer of mental health struggles, yet emerged stronger. She claimed that Kathy was now fully committed to our son's well-being, and that she had taken significant steps to improve her mental health. Therapy, medication, the works. Your Honor, Kathy's lawyer continued, Kathy has made great strides in her recovery. She's ready to provide a stable and loving home for her child. We ask that you grant her full custody. I couldn't help but feel a surge of anger. I knew the truth. I knew that Kathy was still struggling, still battling the very demons that had torn our family apart. The anxiety, the unpredictable mood swings, the constant uncertainty. I couldn't trust her to be the mother our son needed. Not yet. My lawyer rose to counter the arguments. His voice was firm, but with a hint of emotion. Your Honor, he began, we acknowledge Kathy's efforts, but the fact remains that she is not yet fully stable. Her condition continues to fluctuate, and I have serious concerns about her ability to care for our son full-time. He presented evidence, doctor's notes, testimonies, and personal accounts of Kathy's episodes. He argued that I, as a stable and present parent, was the better choice for full custody. It was a blow to Kathy's case, but I couldn't help but wonder if this was the right path. Was I doing this for the right reasons, or was my bitterness clouding my judgment? The judge listened intently, taking notes. After what felt like an eternity, he called for a recess to consider his decision. I walked out of the courtroom, my legs shaky, my mind racing. I leaned against the cold wall, trying to calm the rapid beating of my heart. That's when Kathy's father approached me. He had been a constant source of support throughout this tumultuous divorce, a quiet figure who had offered me reassurance when I needed it most. Can we talk for a moment? He asked gently. I nodded, though a part of me wanted to retreat, to escape from the weight of it all. We stepped outside the courthouse, and Kathy's father looked at me with a deep, compassionate gaze. I know this is hard on you, he said softly, but I want you to know that Kathy is doing much better now. She's been seeing a therapist, taking her medication regularly. She's committed to getting better. I met his gaze, my mind conflicted. I don't know what to do. I want what's best for our son, but I just don't trust her. I don't think she's ready. His eyes softened. I understand, but Kathy loves your son. She wants to be a part of his life. Maybe you could consider joint custody. That way, your son can have both of you in his life. The idea hit me like a ton of bricks. Joint custody? Could I really share custody with Kathy, knowing everything I knew about her condition? But the thought of denying our son the chance to have both of his parents was almost as painful as the idea of keeping him from Kathy altogether. I stood there, grappling with the decision. For a moment, the world seemed to stop moving. Kathy's father, sensing my hesitation, placed a hand on my shoulder. I know it's not easy, he said, but this could be the best thing for him. You've seen how much she's changed. Don't you think it's worth a try? I took a deep breath. Maybe it was time to consider a compromise. Our son deserved a chance to have both parents in his life, and perhaps, with continued therapy and care, Kathy could be the mother she wanted to be. When we returned to the courtroom, the tension in the air was palpable. The judge cleared his throat, and I held my breath. His decision came swiftly. "I've considered both sides carefully," the judge said. "I'm granting joint custody of your son to both parents. However, Kathy will continue to receive treatment for her mental health condition as a condition of the custody arrangement." I let out a breath I didn't realize I was holding. Joint custody. It wasn't the clean break I had hoped for, but it was the best compromise. I had made my peace with the decision, knowing that our son would have both of us in his life, provided Kathy kept up with her treatment. 5 months later, I found myself facing yet another unexpected twist. Kathy showed up at my door, looking as though she had stepped out of a dream. She was calm, composed, and, if I were being honest, different. It had been months since we had last spoken, and I had no idea what she wanted. "I think we should try again," she said, her voice soft but urgent. "We should move back in together. Try to work things out, for our son's sake." I stared at her, speechless. My mind raced, but no words came out. I couldn't believe it. After everything we'd been through, after all the hurt and pain, she wanted us to pick up where we left off. I felt anger building up in my chest, bubbling like an untamed fire. My heart still carried the scars of our marriage, the lies, the broken promises, the emotional chaos. And now, she wanted to pretend like none of it had happened? Without thinking, I slammed the door in her face. I could hear her voice muffled through the wood pleading, but I didn't care anymore. It was over. It had to be. I leaned against the door, my breath coming in ragged gasps. But then, as I turned around, I saw her. Mia. She had witnessed the entire exchange, standing there quietly, her eyes filled with understanding. I smiled, feeling an odd sense of relief wash over me. "Oh, don't worry," I said, trying to lighten the mood. "I found someone 1,000,000 times better." Her name was Mia, and she was everything I needed. She was my rock, strong, compassionate, and unwavering. We had hit it off from the very first moment we met, and with each passing day, I realized how much I had been missing. Mia didn't just fill the void left by Kathy. She transformed my life in ways I hadn't even known I needed. Mia wrapped her arms around me, offering comfort. "You made the right decision," she whispered. "You deserve better than someone who hurt you like that." And in that moment, everything changed. Kathy was a chapter in my past, a painful but necessary part of my story. With Mia by my side, I felt whole again. We began building a future together, one day at a time. We made new memories, laughed together, and shared experiences that healed the wounds I thought would never fade. The pain of Kathy's betrayal slowly became a distant memory. I had found something real, something lasting. Mia and I were creating a life filled with love, joy, and support. I couldn't imagine going back to the uncertainty and chaos of the past. Kathy continued to try and reach out, but I had made my decision. I was done. Done with the toxicity, done with the drama. My life was moving forward, and I wasn't looking back. As I stood beside Mia, watching the sunset together, I knew that I had made the right choice. Life was too short to dwell on the past. With Mia, I had found my true happiness. The future was bright, and I was ready to embrace whatever came next. Sometimes life throws us curveballs that force us to confront painful truths, but it's how we react to those moments that defines us. It's the strength to move on, to make hard decisions, and to choose happiness, even when it seems impossible. This journey taught me more than just how to navigate a custody battle. It taught me the power of resilience, the importance of self-love, and the beauty of second chances. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you for sticking with me through this story. If you found even a sliver of hope or inspiration in these words, please consider subscribing to our channel for more stories that motivate, heal, and inspire. Your support means the world to us.